Yes. Human meets system, system breaks. Anybody in the audience feel this is true? One person, two persons. Maybe there's a hand. No, it's twirling of hair. Okay, so designing system change. We do a lot of ad hoc innovation projects. How can we move to an innovation infrastructure? And what's the role of learning ecosystems? And who am I and why do I talk? Designing this space is already one of the problems. I saw already Margus doing this in the beginning. We can see 3 rows, and the rest is complete darkness. But it's a new space, so it's an iterative process. I'm a geologist, or at least that's my academic education. Then I did sustainable development and sustainability, human systems added into that, planetary systems. I run 3 companies, albeit small ones, 2 NGOs, and working on building an investment fund for the world. How many of you use systems thinking in your work? And now we are starting to see a few hands. Not very many yet. Do we have any educators in the room? Okay, private sector? Okay, decision makers? Budgets? Yeah, we have some budgetary decision makers. Do we have any investors here? Bankers? You're not putting your hand up? You're working for a bank? No. Okay, so a little bit what are the kind of different systems that you're working with? So a human system is a living network of interconnected people, structures, relationships, and patterns. All elements of a system are influencers and are influenced by their context. Change in one part of the system creates ripple effects across the whole. So understanding system means learning to notice connections and feedback loops, the hidden dynamics shaping outcomes, and how do we do this as humans? So there's something called the Seki model, Nanaka and Takeuchi, if you're academically inclined or like to read. It's about how we together as humans create knowledge. And now, of course, we have AI as well. So how do we now use this soon-to-be intelligence in our processes to learn? And how do we take that which is invisible, tacit, and make it explicit, visible, together? So learning ecosystems is then another iteration of this. So they are the natural environments where people learn and mature across lifetime. So they evolve in the same way as natural ecosystems. So you can easily read about biological ecosystems and then apply that to your organization or work that you do. You will find all the niches, you will find all the flows, all these kind of things in learning ecosystems among humans as well. How do we leverage then the positive relational dynamics we have to grow and flourish? And the reason, of course, to become healthy and self-regulating and self-sustaining. So there is a fair amount of talk, and one of the I think former was designing for AI or something like this, redesigning for AI for this conference. I think Google still has that on the first page. Is the systems that we're building self-sustaining at the moment? Is the investment that we're putting into parts of our human systems, will they actually bring some sort of return? Or is it just another bubble? In 2018-19, we started work to create something that we call an evolutionary framework for learning ecosystems. And we did this work for UNESCO, piloted in Ghana. And it was led by Jordi Gibson Diaz from Ramon Llull University in Barcelona. Any type of system matures. We go from what is called an emergent ecosystem to climatic ecosystem. And the differences here is how do these ecosystems interrelate to each other? What are the relationships and the basically symbiosis between the different parts of the system? The first emergent one is you have a node in the middle, and then you have a network of actors. So the first time where it really becomes a system is when these nodes start to work together. And then the second one is you have a couple of nodes, and they have their networks. And then, of course, more and more. And at the very end, there is no central hub anymore. It's just a lot of different kind of focus points within the ecosystem. To be able to grow and mature, we need a flourishing mindset. We need to encourage curiosity, co-creation, and dialogue. So what's dialogue? You've heard the words before. How many of you practice dialogue? True dialogue? So thinking together through deep listening, curiosity, reflection, and shared meaning-making. I saw a lot of hands. This is actually not very normal. It may be because of the audience, because you understand that there is more layers to interaction than just having your own point and putting it out, and then waiting for the other person to put out their point, and then you have another of your points, not taking into account the other person. So you're not really creating anything together, you're just trying to get your point through. So we need to suspend assumptions, and we need to explore complexity collectively. And this is actually not very easy, but it can be done. So we need to be able to create the conditions for trust and learning. Ooh, that's nice. If I go here for the other speakers as well, now you can see the audience, designing the space. And in this way, when we have trust and we have collaborative, collective learning, then we also can get collective intelligence. And this is where transformation starts to emerge. So why then all this complexity? Well, society has a lot of changes needed all the time. I work within the education system, and one of the most common things we hear from teachers is that now there is another change that is happening, and I don't have the time to do that. Society is changing, our systems are not. So we've suggested now for a couple of years that we need to move away from ad hoc innovation projects towards a more coherent innovation infrastructure. So that is a systemic transformation that requires an explicit innovation infrastructure. So today, much of our innovation happens, we have an idea. That idea might provide some value to a person, and then they go out and try to make something out of it in the world. In Estonia, you're very, very lucky because you have a lot of hackathons. This is a good way to take your idea and go out and see, does it actually create any value? Innovation is an idea that creates value to other people as well. So you can find a team and you can start doing something. What do you do then? Well, you're also very lucky because you have incubators here. So if you know enough, you can go out and find an incubator that will actually support you. And then the next phase is maybe testing. In education, you have some test beds. You have some other test beds as well. Across the border in Helsinki, there is a whole Helsinki city and Espoo city have test beds as well, across all the other sectors as well. But you need a lot of information for this to happen. So you need to actually go out and actively try to find out how do we do that. So the thing that I was working on for the last week as well, I was at ITU in Geneva, which is the IT organization of the UN, is how do we then take all of these ad hoc innovation pathways or processes and create some sort of structure out of it. So we have the learner themselves, the person that goes out and acts. And what is that journey? How does that look like? What is the content and what are the methodologies that they come into contact with? And then we have the processes. So do we have clear innovation pathways? This is an idea. You can go to a person, they will guide you to a hackathon, then you can go to the same person, they know where the incubator is or which ones you can go to, then you can go back to the same person and they can send you to test beds, accelerators, scaling, capital, and so on and so forth. But then today we also have digital infrastructure. So digital infrastructure is not only the cables and the Wi-Fi networks, which work or do not work. Hi, Margus. And then we have also the virtual infrastructure, the software infrastructure. And in Estonia, again, you're very lucky. You have digital public infrastructure. All your services are digital, except education. We're waiting for this to happen. But all across the world, these things is not a layer that is working very well. And then what is the physical infrastructure? So what are the spaces where we meet? And how do these spaces dance together within a city or a country? So we've come to see that we need neutral spaces. For dialogue to happen, we need places where we can come together and not one organization holds all the power. This happens very easily. If we go to a university, the university, of course, has all the power in the university. If we go to a private company, they own the space, they decide what happens. If we go to City Hall, the city is in charge. But what are the spaces that we have that are co-owned, in a way, that are common for us all? And how do these neutral spaces then enable structured dialogue? What are the specific, explicit, visible innovation pathways in our ecosystems? And where is that, all of those nodes, what's the focus of that? Anybody recognize this picture? Again, in Estonia, you're very lucky. You have the first space like this, that at least I know of. And maybe I know of it because we're also partnering with RARA to help build these kind of learning ecosystems and learning innovation infrastructure here. You have the library is traditionally a place where everybody can come. And okay, the librarian has more power. However, I think you're going to be amazed when you come here after the opening. Having been part of this process now for a couple of years, it's amazing to see the vision and the ambition of this project. Some of you might have visited Audi in Helsinki. And they're kind of a first step. It's an open space for a living room for everybody. But it is not a hosted space, a space with specific innovation pathways that you can walk through and realize yourself and your ideas. I'm Peter, and this has been part of the launch of the Teach Billions Impact Fund. We're raising €1 billion over the next decade to build 1,000 innovation hubs like Rara across the world, and to deploy digital public infrastructure for education. The third part and leg of that is to build learning ecosystems across the world as well. We have now 25, and I invite you all to join us in this journey. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We have a question here that is a bit long, but I'll try to summarize this. So what do you estimate that in educational systems, how long will it take that the systems will really adapt AI? It seems that at the moment there's a phase of panic and confusion, and nobody really knows what the future of education will be like. So what is your vision of the future with AI in education?
What do you mean by really adopt AI? Whoever asked that question. I mean, if anybody can answer that question, right. there is the sci-fi version. Mm-hmm. We have AI with us. So we are interconnected with a chip. There is the human AI hybrid. Mm-hmm. Is that what you're talking about? Is it you're talking about you have AI in your pocket and you can use it whenever when you need an answer for something, and the answers are reasonably true? We're pretty close to that. Mm-hmm. A lot of students are using AI, maybe not the teachers yet. Here you have the AI leap, you're a bit lucky again. But many countries are also using AI for the data part. So I think more the question is, what do we mean by adopting AI across the education system?
Do you think something needs to be done to speed this up or to slow this down, or do we let it kind of go organically? Does it need to be governed and controlled like the AI leap is trying to do here, or is the kind of consumerist market version going to win?
Living in the EU, I don't think the second option is an option. So I think we should have regulation. There are a lot of ethical problems in regards to AI. It changes completely how we look at a market economy. It destroys a lot of the old ways of doing things. We need to be conscious about the rate of change that is happening in the technological world. Because we as humans, we don't come together and try to figure out how can we use this change in the best way. We don't have the spaces for this dialogue. So this is one of the reasons why we want to build so many of these hubs, because we see that we need spaces around the world where we can also talk internationally about the practical implementation of policies. So we need places where we can experience the new, so we can spread that in our societies. And we don't have that. UNDP has development hubs. There are accelerator hubs around the world. But UNESCO do not have a way for implement the education policies that are very good across the world into practice. And education is the foundation of our societies. It's how we create human beings to work in society.
Can you elaborate a little bit about these educational hubs? Where are the 25 that you mentioned?
So 25 is the learning ecosystems.
Learning ecosystems.
So learning ecosystems are the ecosystems that very often grow up around a city or a school. And 25 have been identified. I do not know which. I know Portland has some. I know there are some in Asia. There is in France.
Okay, so the nearest to us would be somewhere in Europe.
Well, the second hub will be in Paris, in France.
Paris, okay.
Yeah. The third one in Africa.
Okay. I don't have any more questions to Peter from here right now, so I think we'll give you a chance to catch up with Peter in the break.
Anybody else want to say something? No brave ones in Estonia?
Yeah, if you want to ask a question from the audience, that's of course possible, but you have to,
You have 5 minutes and 3 seconds left.
use the full
1.
power of your voice if you do that.
Nope. Okay.
Oi, hang on. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.